2, 1. Oh, we're on.
Your job, my job. I don't mind. You can start for me.
I'm being silly.
Got a joke at IronE here, Singleton from The Walking Dead. You may know him as T-Dog. Now, I have to say, it's great to see you again, and you're here in the UK.
Yeah.
So
great to see you.
having fun, you too.
I'm so excited about being here.
You are.
I've been wanting to get to London for the last 2 decades plus, and I'm finally here. So
you bided your time. Wow.
Yes.
Has it been worth the wait?
It has been well worth the wait. Yeah, I feel really good. It's been a fantastic weekend. I said the expression I used to sum up the weekend was like, groovy, baby. Yeah. I can only think about Austin Powers and his movie and everything, but yeah, it's been wonderful.
I think you'd approve.
It's been wonderful. Good. Very good. Very good.
And so, obviously, you're here in London chatting to the European fans. Is it different, you know, compared to American fans? And have any of them surprised you?
I don't think there's much difference, but I would say that there's more energy here because we don't get here often. And especially for me, this is my first time coming to the UK, particularly with the Walker Stalker Con. So the fans have been just ravenously enthusiastic, and it's just been non-stop love that I've been getting. This outpouring of love has been tremendous.
Fantastic. And you played T-Dog, and he was a lovable character. And and one of the things I think people liked him for is he brought a bit of comic relief to the show. Is that something that was hard to play? Because other actors have said it's hard to bring the funny to the dark show.
Well, my thing is actually being in the moment. I would say that the writers are so great on the show. The funny is within the context of it all. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Like even say, I'd have to think of a particular moment for Daryl. Daryl has lots of funny moments, but he plays them seriously like he's in the apocalypse, but you still get laughter from what he says. So it's just actually just, you know, just playing it for what it is. You know, you don't reach for funny, because if you try to reach for funny, then it would take away from it, I would say. Yeah. So it's not that hard. You just do what these brilliant writers have written, and it works itself out.
Well, I was watching a montage of your season 2 lines the other day, and one thing that I noticed was that there's so many that are like, damn, oh shit, oh no.
Oh man.
Had you noticed that before?
I think I saw something like that on the on YouTube. Yeah, it was interesting. I had a lot of one-line zingers. They were referred to as, and I enjoyed it because people complimented me on those. They were like, "Oh my God, you have the funniest one-liners," and I'm like,
"You're a scene stealer."
It wasn't my fault. Like again, I blame the writers.
All their fault.
Yes, I blame the writers for it, Tanavi.
Well, what are your most memorable scenes, would you say, as T-Dog, both for you and also for the fans?
For the fans, there are so many wonderful scenes. For the fans, I'm going to say everything, because the fans can't get enough of The Walking Dead. I can't get enough of The Walking Dead. And if I had to just dive into it and to pick something, it would have to be the first episode I was in. Oh, we have to really project now because they're making noise over there. So we have to yell too. But it was a rooftop scene, season 1, episode 2.
When you lost the key?
That was the beginning of it. Oh, you had to bring that up. She had to bring up me losing the key. But my thing, I did not lose it on purpose. How about that?
That's true.
It wasn't on purpose.
Very true.
It was an accident. But yeah, season 1, episode 2. Season 1, episode 4, Vatos. CDC, that was explosive, pun intended. And
Well Walker.
Yeah. Well Walker, yeah, season 2, episode 5 or 6 or something like that. That was lots of fun. That was hideous. I can't say it was one of my favorite scenes, but yeah, I can say because that was my first time and maybe my last time working with the group as an ensemble.
Right.
So, 13, all of us worked together, but not so closely because we were all in one shot together, trying to get Glenn out of the well, right? So that was pretty awesome as well. Episode 13 of season 2, that's when everybody thought Herschel was going to get it, but Rick came from behind and took out the walker, right? There was a lot of action in that. The barn fell down. They set the barn on fire, and the walkers really picked up speed to get away. Yeah. So if you watch the episode, you see it. You see what I'm talking about.
Well, one thing I've noticed as well is, you know, it's kind of scary working with all those zombies, and I've got to wonder, have you ever had nightmares about being eaten by walkers?
Somebody asked me that about 30 minutes to an hour ago, and I said, I know, I don't think so, because I had so many nightmares as a kid when my mom would take us to watch scary movies like Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Halloween. So I think I got all of my nightmares out of the way at a young age, an early age. So not much about walkers, not really. Yeah.
And fans might be surprised to know as well that you are a fan of The Walking Dead yourself, and you've written a song about it, and you've now released that. How did that project come about? What is that about?
Man, after The Walking Dead happened, I said, what can I do now to be a role model, to have a positive impact on our world? And I came up with the book. I wrote my book, Blindsided by The Walking Dead, and after that, I was like, what else can I do to have a positive impact and to have it relate to the biggest show that I've ever been in basic television, basic cable television history. So I came up with the album, Hypocrisy. And one of the songs in my album is We Are the Walking Dead. And I wanted it to relate to the society we live in and how we affect one another as individuals, as human beings. And I also wanted to touch on the camaraderie that I have with my castmates from the show and with all the fans that love the show so much. So by coming up with that title, it was my way of paying homage to fans and to my castmates and all the execs of the show. So,
well, fantastic.
Yes, indeed. Thank you. Thank you. We Are the Walking Dead. Mm-hmm.
And I have to ask you, that's other projects, but movie-wise, you're in a big movie, The Blind Side, with one of my favorites, Sandra Bullock. I have to wonder, what was it like to be working with her?
Oh, it was awesome. Sandy is a phenomenal human being. She's a kind soul. She has a beautiful spirit. So she's beautiful inside and out. And the one thing that really stands out to me, Tanavi, is that when I finished shooting my scenes with her, one scene in particular, I was talking to some of the extras and I was trying to help them out as much as I could. They had questions about acting and what have you. And I felt a hand touch me on my shoulder. And I turned around and it was Sandy, Sandra Bullock, Sandy. She said I could call her Sandy. So I was like, okay. And she said, you did a tremendous job, and I can't wait to work with you in Hollywood, and I just want to give you a big hug. And she said so many wonderful things that I was just moved, and it made me realize that, wow, I'm here, and I've been accepted by Hollywood in a sense. And so many other things started happening after that. So I was very appreciative that she had such kind words for me.
That's fantastic. And what can fans see you in next?
Oh, well, right now at the moment, it's my music that I'm focusing on promoting. And I'm always promoting my book, Tanavi, as well. My one-man show is something that might be in a town near you. As far as film and television, I'm on lock for a particular project, but hopefully that will come to fruition sooner than later. I can't speak on it right now, so we'll see.
You have to watch out.
I talked about the book as well. She has a copy of my book here, if you don't mind me flashing it here, Blindsided by The Walking Dead. It's an excellent read, and it details my life story growing up destitute in a housing. You've heard my story before, but in a housing project in the inner city of Atlanta of the United States, and overcoming all those things to end up in the show The Walking Dead and also The Blind Side. And my message from this book is, no matter what you go through in life, you can always overcome those things. As long as you have your relationship with God, you always believe, you never quit. You know, you persevere. And, you know, go back to the times when we were kids. I always think about when I was a kid and it seemed like nothing was out of reach early on before the realization that I was in the project. Before that really hit me early on, I was like, wow, I can do anything. I had such an imagination. Just go back to that time and realize that it's still possible. Even though we're adults, hold on to that faith.
Anything's possible.
Anything's possible.